So, just like with everybody else getting their cards thrown at their face, you'll be getting one Daemon Tarot Oracle card, one Dark Goddess, and then the deck you got is the Tarot Grand Lux. Essentially, pretty much this is most ideal if you have a Libra Ascendant or a Libra Lugna rising sign, the whole woody-woo. But if you don't know astrology, you don't know what your rising sign is, you can stick with the sun sign. But if you know what your rising sign is, watch that sign instead. And if you want to be extra fancy smashy, you can take a look at the sign your moon is too. But that's if you extra. That's when if you want to be really fancy, but that's up to you. I can't decide if you want to be fancy or basic. So essentially, this is going to be just so simple, easy peasy, nothing too painful, and hopefully not painful because I'm also kind of in a way of looking at myself. But oh well, let's see what happens. There's going to be one easy there, Cupcake. One Dark Goddess Oracle card that comes out, which we have that one. And then one Daemon Tarot. We'll see what decides to fly out of it. Oh. Oh. Well. Try it again. And also, if you're cross-watching for a Libra, I don't mind it. Just make sure that you understand and you're able to actually take in the... Well. Alrighty then. That was a bit of a flip. Okay, so... Demon-wise, we have Astaroth. Duke Astaroth. For that. For our Daemon. And... Oh, it's such a joy to see this one for me. Our Dark Goddess is Lilith. And we all know what happens when I talk about Lilith. We do as we please. So, okie doke. Now, Astaroth, I believe, was known to be also Astrate. I think that's how you say her name, but correct me if I'm wrong. But essentially, Astrate, I don't think that's how you pronounce it, but essentially she was like how do I put this? She was like a fertility goddess, if I'm correct. Also, kind of similar to Ishtar, unless that's the same one. It's just under a different name. But what I'm really getting from this is that if for some reason, if somebody is judging you based on your appearance and judging you for something you can't help, and for some odd reason, people are thinking that, wow, I don't think you look like you're good at anything, and they're just judging you based on your appearance. Oh, that was anticlimactic. Essentially, it was supposed to be like, if somebody thinks you're not pretty, well, we didn't ask for your opinion now, did we? Mm-hmm. But pretty much, what I'm getting is, well, since we know what Lilith is, a dark goddess all about self-empowerment, self-esteem, self-assurance, and not really giving a crap what anybody else thinks. And if somebody is like trying to bring you down and like trying to insult you and make you feel like you're not worth it, well, the way she responds is like, oh, look at you. You're giving me your time and attention. Stop making me feel important, dear. It's cute and all, but, you know, you're making me feel important. Why don't you go spend your time elsewhere, something beneficial for you? Oh, you're still going to look at me? Okay. Sure, I'll take it. But don't expect anything back. Sorry, not feeling it. So, if there is some kind of situation where somebody is not really giving you the right recognition or right attention or really being grateful for you, oh, well, that's a shame. You know what Lilith does with that. I mean, look what happened with Adam. Oh, that sucks. Toodaloo, jackass. So make sure that you know you're worth 100% and not let anyone take that away from you. Because if someone takes that away from you, you're not really being your true, authentic self. And we need you to be your true, authentic self 100% of the time. Not like 90%. No, always 100. And we're going to be doing a simple crossword. Just simple. One at the top, bottom, left, right, middle. That's it. Nothing too complicated unless if you know Something decides to be like, hey, make it complicated for yourself, kid. Fine. Ugh. Current standing, current position, and current standing all together, like how we are in this current moment. We have the King of Swords, which is actually pretty... it can be considered a Libran card, but currently in the current standing, we're in a position where we can be firm but fair. That sounds awkward. But we're also able to make a sound decision, but willing into taking the facts, but also take the action if necessary. We won't behead somebody if they're innocent, but if they're guilty, well, we'll behead them. And, you know, not behead this head, the other one. What? It's funny. I got nothing. But for some reason, too, if there's some individual, or I don't know why this is just popping in my head. If there's an incident involving an owl, or like if someone is trying to, you know, how do I put this? Like if somebody is trying to be a wise figure to you, please listen. Please listen to them. Or if you're trying to be like a leadership in a leadership position that you're pretty much given that right to be an authoritative figure, if somebody's not respecting you, well, you know what they say about what Lilith does. Oh, I didn't ask you, honey. You're gonna do it now. Oh, you don't want to? Well, I didn't. I wasn't asking if you wanted to do it. You're gonna do it now, and be firm about it and get it done. But because since there's also a very delicate white owl on his, like in front of him, I'm also getting the idea of probably there might be another figure that's might be younger than you, giving you wisdom in this regard. Maybe. And also, if you're considering also getting more, I don't know why this popped in my head, but if you're considering getting more quartz, now's the time, yes. Get as much quartz crystal as you can. I know it's just random as a Final Fantasy battle, but, you know, the crowns of crystal on his head. Go get yourself some clear quartz, because, you know, that can do everything and anything. You just gotta tell it. Regarding the physical, everyday, mundane stuff, security, wealth, health. No, not obligation, but kind of. Profession, yep, and all the throwing the presidents all over the place, if you know what I mean. We have the Four of Swords. So this, what I'm getting from this is if there is a situation where somebody is taken off work because they're ill, you might actually be in a position where the best way I can put this is that you actually might be being awarded more time off, or when it comes to your work and profession, you actually might be doing a lot less work but still getting the same kind of amount of compensation, if that makes sense. And because since there's a figure of a man on a horse in the background, kind of like in his dreamland state, possibly this could be an indication that you're going towards, or maybe even dreaming about, a profession where you're being at like the very best spot that you want to be in. But in the current standing, you're not in that position yet. But that's kind of odd because you're the King of Swords, and that's the Four of Swords. You're kind of already in there, don't you think? Well, I mean, that's what I think, but still. But because this is still in the dream world and in the mental mind, possibly you still have to rejuvenate and recover from like a health condition before you can actually go back and start working towards this mundane 3D goal that you have desired. But when it comes to your health, possibly consider sleeping a little bit more, making sure you're getting adequate sleep, taking power naps when needed. There is nothing wrong with a power nap. If somebody says otherwise, well, they can go stick it. Because power naps are actually very healthy for you. Because, well, it's natural. Communication, speaking to other people, interacting with others, studying a new subject, increasing your intelligence, and the whatnot. We have, then, wow, there's a lot of blowing going on in here. Not like that, you nasty. We have the Knight of Swords. So it looks like when it comes to communications and going towards a subject, or actually with communications in general, or like interacting with people, there's going to be a lot of, swift messaging. So expect like, or even like if you're trying to learn a new subject or study a new subject, you actually might pick up on it a little bit too fast than what the, teacher's expecting you to. You actually might fly through the course and graduate from that course early. It can happen. But also the thing with the Knight of Swords, since it's blowing and blowing, it's really windy. It can be a little bit whimsical, so make sure that you don't be too crazy and whimsical in your communications and how you're pretty much learning and studying. Because if you're trying to increase your intelligence and you're being all cartwheely and going backflips all over the place, not really being aware of that you have an exam the next day and you're mentally exhausted, that probably will not help that much. So make sure you're being practical and not putting in too much, of your drive in one thing, because that can make you get drained. And also, for some reason, if you're happening to take a course or studying American history or anything regarding the American natives, because I'm seeing a bald eagle right there. If you're studying for anything like that, it is a good time to touch up on your American history if you're in the U.S. Besides, if you're in the U.S., you should actually know your U.S. history. Please know your U.S. history, because if you don't, history will repeat itself, and we don't want this to happen again, what's going on right now. Please know. Please read your history. And for goodness sakes, he does not look like that shaman guy who got arrested. Please no. Don't be like him. Please don't. Because that's not shamanism, that's just... no. But then again, I think Libras do have the common sense to be like, oh, I don't think I'm going to do that because that's like trying to be in the next Jackass movie. No. Hopefully. But that's just me. Obstacle or motivating force or something that's making you trying to be lit ablaze. No, not burned at the stake. We don't think like that. That's not nice. We have the King of Pentacles. So we have 2 kings and a knight. Oh, that sounds suggestive. So your motivating force is to become a little bit more practical and realistic and more grounded in your spending and your sense of security. And also, I don't know why this is popping in my head, but your motivating force is that you kind of want to be the king of your castle and you want to be able to have the full control of your finances and your full security. You don't want nobody else doing it, but also at the same time, you actually might want to be considered being looked up to as an example for saving money and wealth. And for some reason, I don't know why this just flew in face first, if you have a pet, if you have a canine of some kind, check on his health to make sure that he's healthy. I don't know why that just popped in my head. And do not go hunting. Don't do it. No hunting for the rest of this month. Don't do it. I don't know why that just popped in my head, but go with it. And also, if you're considering getting a green stone, like green aventurine, well, I don't know if there's topaz and green, but green aventurine, jade, any green stone for that matter. This is also a good time to consider possibly investing in getting some emerald too. But that's just a thought, because... oh, and make sure that you don't recklessly spend, because if you do, it's going to bite you in the tush. Take advantage of any kind of gains that are coming in right now and start saving it. Or putting it towards an investment of some kind. And now probably the one we've all been waiting for. The one position of, oh, Romeo, where art thou, Romeo? Look down here, you dummy. Oh, there you are. You know what? I changed my mind. I don't think I want you. Oh, Romeo, why must you be this way? Because you're stupid, that's why. You keep saying that crap and you don't know I'm down here. Oh, well, I don't know. I got nothing. I'm trying to be funny. So, emotional stuff, the cheesy woozy woo stuff, the does he love me, does he love me not? Is he going with a 2-timer? What do we have here? We have, oh, this is freaking cheesy. We have the lovers. And in this depiction we have man and a woman, yab, 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 yab. And then for some odd reason, we have these two dancing pigeons who look kind of, they look like they're, I don't know if they're dancing or doing like a mating kind of a thing, but they kind of look like, what are we doing here? Meets me. Yeah, let's book this place and let's get out of here. Because it looks like their necks are like tangled up. But also there's a crescent moon kind of going down from underneath where the Roman numeral 4 is. So potentially maybe this could happen during either a waxing or waning moon after when it gets past the like a half full position of the moon. So possibly when it comes to emotions, you actually might find someone that might be a new love interest. Ooh, okay, yeah. But if you're currently with somebody and you have a love interest in mind, this could be an indication that, hey, looks like you two are going to finally see eye to eye. But the guy up there, he kind of has to get a little bit down to equal level and not look down at her. Because we all know what happens when I see something like that. It's like, oh, you think you're slick? No, you're not cute. We're an equal here, hon. And that's not an option. But also make sure when negotiating like a marriages and anything like that, make sure that your voice is heard and not silenced. And also, for goodness sakes, make sure you don't get tangled up in something you don't want to get tangled up in. And be in a position where you're like, well, this is awkward. I thought there was going to be something like I wanted. Never mind. Because sometimes marriage isn't for everybody. Just make sure also, again, I'm going to go with what I'm saying. If for any reason at all, if somebody is putting you down again, kind of like how I was going with in the beginning with Astaroth and all that. If somebody is looking to you because of like how you emotionally react to things and they think, well, I think you should act like this. Milkshake. Whose feelings are they? Mine. So who gets to say what happens with them? I do, not you. So stick it. Literally. Don't let anybody say you should feel like this, you should feel like that, because that's not their choice. Your feelings are your own, and if you have to, become Sass Monster, be like, oh wow, look at you trying to, tell me how I should feel. Here, I'll just kick back and relax and you can fan me and I'll let you do everything in my life. I mean, heck, if you're going to do that, you might as well do everything for me. Yoo-hoo, why aren't you kissing my foot like I told you to? I need my foot cleaned, come on. Yeah, that's kind of a very passive-aggressive way of putting it. But make sure that you're fighting for yourself this week, Libra. And don't be afraid to turn up the sass, because sometimes you have to turn up the sass to tell people, don't mess with it. And that's what I got for you this month of March. I'll be doing Scorpio and Sagittarius next, after I'm done with my next live. That's going to be going on in probably about 2 hours or so, at like 9 o'clock Arizona time. And I'm going to be talking about the art of bamboozling. What is that? Simple. Let's just say it's the most simplistic thing that you can do to take any kind of spell work or any kind of magic or any kind of influence and just go, nope. Nope. Nah. It's not going to do anything to me. And you can completely just outplay it or bamboozle your way out of it. And it doesn't matter what it is. So if that's something you're interested in, just watch for my next live that has the title going along with it saying The Art of Bamboozling. And trust me, don't miss it. Because you'll be surprised like, dang. It's so simple, but you can't fight against it. But that's up to you if you want to see it. But trust me, it's something I use daily. I use it daily. And a lot of people are like, how come you're just like so like confident in all the stuff you're saying happens? Because whose life is it? Mine, so don't I get the right to say how it happens? I mean, I'm the one making the final choices. That's just an example. But anyway, that'll be in 2 hours, so hope you will attend that and learn something from that, because it's